Really privileged to be joined by the lead driver,
Yeah.
both in terms of driver and from an assembly and a driving in the workshop of the Century Racing team, Brian Baragwanath. Thank you very much for taking time out in the early evening in Saudi on your rest day. It's been a tough first couple of days in Dakar 2024 for you.
Yeah, well, we've had a pretty smooth run. We just had some bad news starting on stage 3. I woke up the morning and the boss said we can't race today, and I didn't realize all the chaos that happened that night. There was a front suspension wish link which we found at a weakness, and it turns out it was just a bad batch of parts. The heat treatment was done wrong. So yeah, the boss made the safety decision not to race. The car was perfectly fine to keep racing, but so we sat out stage 4 and stage 3, and we rejoined in stage 5. So when we rejoined 166th place, we had to race into the night in the dunes to try and make up a good starting position for the marathon stage. Marathon stage was pretty good, and then 100 k's in we lost back brakes, so we just kept pushing on like that. So we couldn't push too hard, and that night we caught up with Mature and Liar, our other 2 Century cars, which are doing really well. So then we just basically followed Mature home. He had a clutch that was slipping on the marathon stage, so we made sure he came in case we needed to tow him or whatever. We gave him some of our spares as well on the way. So yeah, we have to play the team game now. We here for our teammates now, and we keep testing the CR7. So we could be doing a lot better, but at the same sense, it's a new car. We were really caught off guard with the part that had the incorrect treatment. It's actually just full circle what we had in 2021. It's a company that got the heat treatment wrong. We vowed never to use them again, and our supplier was supposed to keep to that vow, and they went and made the same mistake again. So yeah, it was something which we believed would never happen again, and somebody made a mistake. So really disappointing, but something that just came completely unexpected. So bit out of our control.
These are the moments of heartbreak where a small issue can destroy a big dream. But I suppose that's what we learn about motorsport and how tough and unforgiving it can be for small mistakes, but also when things go right, how glorious it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a real push to come to this race in the first place. So I'm really lucky to be here in the first place. So, we're counting our blessings. The fact that we didn't have a big crash with a part that was really weak, we were very lucky. So, like I say, we're counting our blessings, and still really happy to be here. Still happy to keep racing and keep testing the car. We're making changes every day. We try new things. We're seeing new things. So we learn this Dakar will definitely improve us for the future.
Brian, just from a mindset point of view, obviously with the failure on the parts and deciding not to go racing, from having a good start, then finding that out, missing 2 stages. When you climb back in the car again, it's something that's completely out of your hands. Where was your mental space climbing back into the car, trying to catch up? Were you feeling that your race is run? Were you trying to prove a point, trying to make up time? Like, where mentally were you when you climbed back in the car to take on the Dakar again?
Yeah, every day is a new race here. I mean, every day is a new day. So we take it day by day, and that's what I've been doing. Yeah, it's heartbreaking not to know that we're not racing for overall contention anymore. But in the same sense, we can still make our mark every day, and we can still improve every day. So we're still in the mix, and we can still make the most of it.
Brian, you mentioned Mathieu Serradori and Laia Sainz, and I think it's quite remarkable. Brought the four-wheel drives, the CR7, but you've got the 6 Turbo and the 6 Chevy that are absolutely shining. Mathieu well up in the top 10, Laia in the top 20. It's quite remarkable that and I don't mean in a derogatory sense, a simple privateer's car can run that high in the overalls at Dakar. It says a lot for the concept and the execution that you've done at Century.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the plan, that Mature runs a turbo, Lai runs a turbo. Also, Lai's in Mature's old car from last year. Mature's got a new two-wheel drive turbo. And it's still a very good car. That was a point we wanted to prove that you can still run a two-wheel drive against the best cars in the world, especially for guys getting into the sport. It's a much cheaper car to run. It's a much cheaper car to buy. It's easier to work on. There's less components. Within the two-wheel drive class, it's a really good car. It's a lot of fun to drive. Super light. So, the fact that we can do well this year is fantastic. Last year, we went through all the R&D in 6 months to put in the turbo engine. Spent like 2 million rand on R&D to switch engines. And we got to the race and they gave us altitude compensation. They made a new rule to reduce the power. And this year they've taken that away again, which is great. So it's good to see that the two-wheel drive is still competitive. Look, in the dunes, it's definitely been challenging, especially this dune stage that we just had. Following Mature in the two-wheel drive, they get through everything. They didn't get stuck much, but there's especially in first gear, first gear climbing, there's some really, really extreme climbs. When they deflated their tires, they can climb really, really well, sometimes just as well as the four-wheel drives. But the challenge was it would be slow speed in the dunes, and then they cross the high-speed shots. And then every time you got to increase speed, you heat up the tires. And the inflation of the tire is really slow. It's probably 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So convert that to kilometers, it's almost 5 kilometers until you're back to inflated tires for the high speed. So they're constantly having to inflate and deflate between the dunes and the chots. The chot is basically like that big type of salt pan. So Mature actually ended up losing 2 tires from running them too soft across, and they burn out, or the side will delaminate. And besides the tires failing, they also lose performance, with a soft tire trying to go high speed. So it comes with its challenges, but it's still there and thereabouts. And I think the second week they're going to do really well again. The speed's going to increase again, and especially in the rocks, they do really well in the rocks. So.
What has been the reception to the CR7 in the paddock? Century's built up a good reputation for strong, reliable, economical cars, and now you bring the four-wheel drive. What's the feeling of people who've come to have a good look at it?
It's been really good. We've had Sebastian Loeb come and sit in the car. We've had some of the Audi guys come around and look at the car. We've had, a lot of top guys interested in the car. So the future of Dakar is always changing. Manufacturers are coming and going. Guys are always looking for cars. So yeah, it's really exciting. There's been a lot of interest, and guys are really, really keen to come and see what we're doing and what we've done. So yeah, it's definitely the right call that we're here, even though we're not 100% ready, and that we can showcase the car and keep testing.
It'll be, we believe that this is the last year of Audi. Got to get Carlos Sainz in a CR7.
It's a possibility. chatting to one of their drivers, one of the top Audi drivers. I won't give away names, just so they get into trouble. But they said that they would know in 7 days whether they're coming back next year or not. So I think that's based on their performance. But even if they do win, I'm not sure if they'll be back next year, to be honest. We'll have to see what they say.
Yeah. So now, you've had a challenging first week. You go into the second week in not the ideal or the position that you wanted to be in. Are you there to really help Matthew and Leia to get to the end, or are you free to go and explore the full potential of the CR7?
I think it's a bit of both. You know, me personally as a driver, I want to be there for them as well. So as a sportsman, for my teammates, I want to be there for them. So that's a bit of both, yeah. So my stage position tomorrow, I'm already ahead of them. So I think tomorrow we'll push anyway, and we'll see what happens. But if things change and we're behind again, I'll also look after them. So we'll take it as it comes.
And your feeling of the ultimate speed of the CR7 versus, I suppose, the Toyota has got to be classed as the quickest car in the field? If I can rephrase that, if you're still with us, Brian,
at the moment, I
your
would say
feeling
the
of-
Pro Drive and the Audi is definitely
Yeah.
the quickest cars in terms of power and acceleration and just racing with the guys in the field.
And Brian, I know it's late in Saudi at
Can
the
you hear me?
moment in the
Signals
bivouac.
going. Okay.
Yeah, got you. Comes and goes, and we get lost in the signal trap. It's late in the bivouac, and it was really good to see you with Stuart Gregory earlier on this morning. And I think that the whole of South Africa is we love the underdog, and Century seems to be the underdog. One of the finest, the neatest built cars I've seen that comes out of this country. And I think that all of us wish you every bit of luck and speed and safety as you go into the second week. Unleash the beast that is both the car and Brian Baragwanath and Leonard Kramer, not to forget your co-driver, and have some fun, be fast.
Thanks so much. Yeah, we'll be thinking of you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the call.
Great. Brian Baragwanath, thank you very much. We'll talk again, hopefully. I'll tell you what, it was a couple of days before the race started, less than a week, that it was confirmed that he was actually going, and he brings the CR7, which is a really, really neat car. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the second week with the parts that are right and some fast stuff to come.
What's also interesting for me is we always seem to think of motorsport as not really a team sport, and the saying is the first person you want to beat is your teammate. But he changed things there, different dynamic. He wants to make sure that the team have a good result, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that Dakar is one of those events that brings people together, brings teams together, because everybody's put so much effort into it.
Yeah.
You've got to have your manufacturer, your car going. Well, there are more chats from the bivouac. Thank you very much for watching. Check it out and be nice, be calm, be lekker. Cheers.
Finger guns go.